Good morning. Welcome back, folks. Happy Monday to you. We are back at it again, as per usual. And I think, fingers crossed, I think the tech issues from last stream have been solved. Kind of figured that out after the fact, and I think we're doing okay now. So we will see how that goes. Fingers crossed, it's nice and smooth. That's how we like it. Sung Moon, hello. Sung Moon, quick. I have not finished Coda from yesterday yet, so don't spoil me on it. We're on lap 26. We'll finish it tonight. But I hope it was fun. And I'm very glad that you got Wriggly Little Hands today. Rock on. I hope you enjoy. I'm glad it finally got there. I'm sorry it took so long, but I'm glad it's there. Enjoy it, Sung Moon. All right, y'all. Well, as you know, if you were tuned in on Friday, a little bit of tech issues. We figured it out. We got it figured out. So that means today we're going to go ahead back and do a little more Fantasy Map Monday. Why not, huh? Let's get to it then. Thank you, Sung Moon. I appreciate you. I appreciate the no spoilers. We just are too busy this weekend to get to it all. But y'all, here's the map as it stands. We started adding some villages and towns at the end of stream on Friday, and I'm excited to continue that because this thing's kind of done. I mean, we're really close. You know, we need to do a little bit more with color work probably. And we need to add and name a few more towns, and then otherwise, I don't know what else. I guess we got to shape that last island up top, right up here. We said we were going to shape this guy that's hiding beneath the title. Andrew, over on Video App, how you doing? Welcome in, my guy. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a good weekend. Y'all, I'm going to need some town and city and capital names from you today, so be thinking about that because we're gonna go through and name some of these bad boys. It's gonna be fun. I know I made a few notes off a stream about what I wanted to do for this, and one of those, you know me, y'all. If you tune in, you know me. If you've tuned in before, I love my swamps, and I'm just itching to put a town in the swamp. I know that's a little bit big perhaps for this swamp, but I really want to do it. Also, I just realized we left a bridge here last stream. Was this supposed to go somewhere? There's just a bridge hanging out down here. Slanted, you like the map? Thank you. I'm glad you do. We're gonna, maybe finish it up today. Slanted, we make it an Incarnate, which is an online map maker. Sung Moon, you said, can I suggest you name the island Whale Island? Direct translation of where I live. Sung Moon, I'm happy to do that, but can you give it to me in something a little less, like, literal? Like, a little closer to its native name? Make it sound Norwegian but in English, because I want to do something a little more exciting than just Whale Island. Crazy flips. You want a waterfall with a cave behind it? That is an often requested feature in these maps, and I think, oh boy, which one was it? Maybe on this one? One of our other maps, we did a waterfall with a cave behind it. I don't think it was this one. Folks ask for that a lot, though. A classic feature. Raffi, what's up, my guy? Yeah, we're doing it today just to make up for the fact that if y'all were here on Friday, we had such a short initial stream because we had tech issues. So I wanted to kind of make up for the lack of our anchor stream, our Fantasy Map Friday, or in this case, Monday. Awesome, Sung Moon. I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Broken Matrix, I'm glad you think I have a pristine beard, my friend. I'll take that. I need a giant spiral tower going into the clouds. All right. Well, look, we have this island up here in the top that we haven't done anything with, tied behind the key a little bit. So we're gonna probably move that island out from behind the key and reshape it. So hey, there's potential there. Matrix, you're rocking the bald and beard look as well. Rock on, man. It's a good move, right? Raffi, you got a rainy Monday. Should you read or write? Bro, I'm feeling read today. I'm always an advocate for writing, but I'm feeling read today. Alright, I said that I wanted to get a swamp town in, so we're going to copy that town icon. I think... So I'm thinking, logically, it's got to be, like, on this big patch of land in here. Because, I mean, you need a bit of land for a town. I guess it could be kind of... You know, it could be up in here with, like, bridges connecting everything, as we have over on this one. But, I don't know. I feel like it would be on the solid land a bit more. For those asking about the software, it is incarnate.com. I just put it into chat for you. It is a free online map maker. Very highly recommended. I love it. Alright, there we go. We got our town title here, as we can get it in front of the trees. Get out of there, tree. There we go. There's our swamp town. Where was this bridge going, y'all? Where was this bridge going? It was just hanging out down here. Hey, Raffi, you're gonna start reading Wrigley Little Assistant today? Rock on, man. I hope you enjoy. Michael, you got brown hair and a ginger beard. That's always interesting to me when people have different beard and hair colors. It's kind of crazy, man. It's cool that can happen. Okay, yes, we're gonna name the towns and villages and cities today. So be thinking about some names. I'll take suggestions from y'all on them. Said maybe it's an old collapsed bridge here. I don't know if we might have a broken bridge asset. I don't know if we do in this. No, we don't have it in this pack. Maybe in Fantasy World we'd have it. No, I'm not seeing it. I feel like that's something that Incarnate has. You wonder what color my hair is? Presently non-existent, but it was the same as my beard. It was dark brown, so much as to be black. I don't know if I want to bridge this waterway here. I feel like I don't. So I don't know why that bridge is hanging out, but we're gonna delete it. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you're liking the map. Zurgon, I did look at the link, my guy. Very cool. Mongolian, dude. Are you actually from Mongolia, my guy? That's awesome. You're not. You're just a fan like me, huh? I feel you. That's a good reason to be. Okay, so we need... oh, you do sing? Do you throat sing? Ooh, Alex. That's a cool name. Solarieth for the desert capital? My guy. Alright, you know what? That just straight up wins. Rock on, man. We're putting that right in. me get that spelling right. Solari. Oh, I did it wrong. I did Solarith. Solarieth. Rock on, dude. You got it. I like it. Come on. Let's get that grouping. There it is. It's grouped together now. Yeah, Jack Ann, welcome in. Good to see you. We had the tech issues on Friday that ended the stream early, so I figure we'll pick up where we left off. Someone asked, can Incarnate do city maps as well? Yes, and in fact, hold please. There's various different types you could do, but here's one that I've done. Karoo, I like that as a name as well. Jack Perry. I'm gonna start writing these down. Jack Ann, did you have a good weekend? Hope you did something fun. We went to an air show. That's always cool. Glara, yeah. It is a makeup for the tech issues last Friday. Someone asked if you can make cities. My guy, you certainly can. Here's a street level city map I've made a while ago. Mongolian dude, do you do videos of the throat singing? If so, DM me one, man. I want to watch that. I'm a huge fan of it. Anyway, yeah. You can definitely do cities. This is just one version of it, but you can do them in all different types. Chriso, the program is Incarnate. I just put it in chat for you there. All right, back to our map. Chriso, you've never touched Incarnate, but you're immediately in love with Incarnate. I feel you, man. All right. I had one more note. What else? Oh, I wanted to add a desert town and a desert river town. I felt like we were missing those. So, town. I want. Oh, not actually the town label. I wanted a town stamp. I feel like we need one right here on the river. That just seems appropriate for the desert. Yeah, you could say Egypt type vibes. Okay, that works. Kind of a Nile River vibe going on down here in the middle. My question, though, is would they also have a town up on this coast? Because I feel like they would be, right? I feel like we'd also have one out here somewhere. Now, I don't want to put too many... I feel like that's like the last of the towns. Like, we've got enough towns. There should be more villages at this point. And I think we've kind of covered all the geographically distinct regions. We'll also touch up color at some point today. So I want to do that. I think the colors are good, but I want to finalize them, you know. Rafi, you went to New York City yesterday? Apparently you're getting old. You were unaware. Why is that, man? Okay, we have 3 capitals in here right now. We got one up top, we got one down below, and we got one off in the desert. I'm thinking that's kind of 3 different kingdoms, if you will, on the map. And then I think that the swamp down here is probably like its own thing. Which, you know what? I did want to add like actually geographic borders. So let me grab my line tool and change it to dashed lines. Let's see if we can remember how to do that. There it is, dashed lines, and we're going to make it white, and we're going to make it bigger than that. Kind of like that, maybe. Can I change the spacing between dashes? I feel like that would be nice. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll do it like that, and we'll get a bigger stroke size. That seems pretty good for a border. All right, now let's go put some borders in. Other name wasn't available. Welcome in, my dude. Yeah, we're doing Fantasy Map Monday to make up for the tech issues last stream. There were I had to cut it short, and you know Fridays are supposed to be the longer stream, so consider this an extension of Friday's stream. Also, my keyboard cam's busted. There's normally a keyboard cam down here. It was an old webcam we just had around the house, and I've been using it for months and months now. and it's done a great job, and it finally kicked the bucket. So rest in peace, keyboard cam. I need to fix it up. Zergon, I will write that name down. I like it. Hochelaga? How would I say it? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, the border should run through the river, right? But now, are you talking this river, the north to south, or are we talking the east to the west one? Because I was also thinking this little thing, this little peninsula, should probably be one. Patuk, the map or the program is Incarnate, and it is it does have a free version. It also has a paid version if you want. You can do Chriso, you can do like full worlds in Incarnate if you want. Here's another map that's in progress right now. We'll get back to working on this one probably on Friday, but yeah, you can do like full on everything, and you know, there's no real limit to how big it gets. All right, let's get some borders in here. I feel like so I feel like this river right here would be a border, right? But how do we show that when the river's there and the mountains? I guess we just do like we just did with the dots just kind of over top of it, you know? Or maybe just put it right along the riverbank. Just around the river bend, perhaps? You're welcome, Savo? Lil Savo? It's a wonderful map. Or wonderful website. I guess we just do this right on the river's edge. Let's just do that, and we'll put it... Do we go around the mountains like this? Does it kind of go like this, or does it follow the river? What do we think? I feel like it should go through the river. Oh yeah, we got to do roads today. Thank you, Zergon. We got to get those roads going on today. I'm going to put this border along the river behind the mountains. We're going to say it goes like that. I don't really like these dots, though. Let's get it back to dashes. They're just a little bit big, so we'll get that stroke size different. Kind of like that. They're just... What I really want is for them to be bigger. And less gap between them. Like, that's okay, but if you zoom out, you don't really see that, you know? I guess it is underneath a few things. Like, it's underneath that bridge for some reason. There we go. We could try black. We could try black and see how that makes it look. I feel like black blends it in a little bit too much. Maybe we just go back to the white dots. I mean, this is okay. It's just when you zoom out, it's a little bit hard to see that dividing line, you know? I think, though, it's like it feels like instinctually, borders are marked with dashed lines, and when you make it a dot, it looks more like it's like showing you a road or something. So I feel like we need that dashed line in there. I want to change the spacing between it a little bit. Sung Moon and the Seth Ward, thank you for the heart me's, y'all. Appreciate you. Very generous of you. You know what? There we go. So, see, this is the spacing I want on these lines. I just want the stroke, the distance between strokes to be different, and there's probably a way to change that, and I'm just not knowledgeable enough in the options to do it. Let's see, can we... What is this? This is non-destructively mask out any objects beneath the stroke. Interesting. Oh, here we go, dash length. Haha, see, I told you. I knew Incarnate would have this. It's a wonderful program. I knew it would have these settings. We got it now. Almost always, if something's going wrong on here, y'all, it's user error. It is me messing up. Trust that is the case, because it is. Alright, there's our first border. So I think that kind of separates, this peninsula is its own little area, its own little country or kingdom. I don't know what the geographical units are. Alex, I make it at inkcarnate.com. Thank you for asking. And Democracy Officer, welcome back, and thank you for replying. Leo, it's an online map maker. Alright, y'all, so, period with spider emojis, I think. Very Halloween themed. You said, is it for a book? So this one is actually for practice, but I do traditionally make these for my books, which I will show you now. So here's a lot of my books. If you don't know, I am a full-time author, so once stream closes down, I will be writing for the day. And these are some of my books, so feel free to check them out. They're all linked in my bio. And when we're making maps, typically it's for one of these books or one that I am working on. So please do feel free to give them a look, or if you want to ask me about any of them, I'm always happy to give you the little pitch on them. Just let me know. Said, would it be more logical if the border goes above the second mountain instead of through it? I think realistically, it goes behind the mountain. It's just, for some reason, the mountain is not... I want to put it behind the mountain, but I think it's fine. There is another way that we could draw one, like this. That kind of goes... Here, let's move this out of the way so we can see for a minute. I don't think I'm probably not... I like the way that it was, but you could have one that, goes like this. And we'd put these hills beneath it. Like that. So that's... Ooh, I kind of like that better, though. I kind of like it better. Alright. That looks better to me. There we go. There's our first one. Now, I have a question, y'all. I want this area up here, this little... We're going to call it a kingdom, because we haven't decided. I would like the land in there to be marked somehow. Like, see how the capital's got the red around it to show the bounds of the city? I would like somehow to identify this political region within these borders, but I don't really know how to do that without changing... The green here, is indicating the temperateness of the terrain, of the climate, and I don't know how to change the color of that without messing with that, Maybe we could do a red outline around it. Could do something like that. Yeah, John, a gradient or a hatch would probably work well. I'm not sure if... Again, Incarnate can probably do that. I'm not sure how to do that. I could paint the border or an outline. I'm going to see what it looks like with a slightly opaque border painted on it. Oh, well, I'm painting the wrong layer? I've never made that mistake before on stream, have I, folks? Chubby, I'm not going to put specific castles on this map, just because it's a little bit more zoomed out. It's not showing individual castles and stuff. But that is something we can do and have done in the past. Yeah, I think this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the borders in red, essentially. I think this is going to look good. Let's see if we just go along this coastline. Come on, mouse. And then we'll just put it like right in. Oh, follow the dotted line. Corin, we are making this in Incarnate. It is an online map maker. I'll put it in chat for you. There you go. It's a wonderful program. Where's my erase tool? I think I can only erase top layer. Yeah, that's a shame. Alright, so we're going to grab our green, because I made a little mistake here. Gone. No mistake, you didn't see anything. Although I do forget now what brush size I was working on for this. That looks 11 looks right. There we go. Boom. And I now realize, looking at it, that this hill is above the border. There we go. Yeah, I think this is the way to do it. It's a little bit crude. Ollie, it's ink carnet. There we go. Dilly, I should write a book. Well, my friend, I have written and published 11 of those now, I think. I'll pull them up here in just a moment when we finish these borders. There we go. Y'all, I think that looks pretty good, actually. What do we think? Do we like that? Does it need a bit more on the edge, maybe? I think it looks pretty good, though. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of it there. What was it? Dilly, you said I should write a book. Well, my friend, do I have good news for you? I have. Here's a bunch of them you can check out. The newest one's up here, Wriggly Little Hands. It is a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon so they can help him defeat the forces of good. But they're goblins. They're going to get distracted and mess it up. And shenanigans ensue. It's been described as a D&D campaign where nobody put any points into intelligence, and the DM's taking a shot after every chapter. Which I think is very accurate. So thank you to the reviewer that wrote that. That made my day. If you want something a little more serious, we got Servant of Rage over here. It's like Highlander meets Dragon Ball Z. But Mongolian, dude, if you're still in chat, it is set in a Mongolian-inspired world. And then if you like Jurassic Park, The Far Wild is like fantasy Jurassic Park. Which is my favorite Jaja Aaron or Haha Aaron, depending if you're from like Brazil where they use Jaja instead of Haha, because it's pronounced H-A. It's pronounced with an H, right? Which my favorite book? I have no favorite children. I have no favorite children whatsoever. I love all of my books equally. Wink. What's Paragon about? Paragon is a lit RPG about basically the world ending via portals opening up all around it and monsters spewing out of said portals and basically bringing about the apocalypse. And people empowered with special abilities go into the portals, fight the monsters back to their source, and close the portals, making the area safe for everybody. And it only gets crazier from there. It's been just people say it's a lot like Solo Leveling, which I have not seen or read, but I get a lot of Solo Leveling comparisons to it. Yeah, see, Crested Soul's already said that. I guess I really have to read Solo Leveling now. I'm entirely unaware of it. We actually, I don't know when Solo Leveling came out, but we started writing Paragon in 2020. But obviously Solo Leveling is the more known of the genre, so props to them. Did I take any shots while writing it? Wriggly Little Hands you're asking about? No, I don't think so. I do. There is a... Let's see, if we go to Servant of Rage, hold on. Boop. There is a drunk scene in this one, and I did, for the sake of experimentation, write it while drunk. So that was a fun one. Hey guys, it worked. Turns out when you're drunk, you can also write characters that are drunk. It did need a lot of editing though. So that was a fun experiment. Skinny Jeans, you said you like the thin borders and how the red around the capital gives more emphasis. Yeah, I dig it too. I think it's pretty cool. All right, let's do the next border down here. I don't think these two are gonna abut one another. I think there's gonna be a bit of a no man's land in here. I guess if we're gonna follow Democracy Officer, I like the advice, my guy. You know I say it all the time. Every story's already been told, but it hasn't been told by you. Your unique voice is what makes it special. Sage, the program is Ink Carnet. I'll put it in chat for you. It's an online map maker. It's got a great free tier as well. Crested Soul, probably not going to look at... well, definitely not going to look at other maps today. But we might do that on Wednesday. I think on Wednesday we're going to do a return to our original format, which is going to be bring bring your favorite book title. Bring the title of your favorite book, tell it to me, and then I will look it up on stream, read the opening lines, and then I'll break it down from an author's POV, talking about like what I see as an author in the opening lines, why they're good, etc., etc. That's what we used to do on Wednesdays. We haven't done it for 2 weeks, so I think we might return to that. All right, I think this border should actually be on the other side of the river. Oh, Sage, rock on. I'm glad that you've been looking for a fantasy map program. You got one. I mean, the Incarnate's really good. There's also Wonder Draft, which I haven't worked with as much. But by all accounts is a very good program. Alright, let's get this border. These trees are kind of getting in the way. For some reason, they like to pop over the border. Let's move them down a layer or two. We'll select all these trees. Oh, you know what? I might need to redraw the border a little bit because it's too close to the fade area of the mountain, the blur at the bottom. So that's kind of hiding it. You can see right in here. Let's redraw that. And we'll keep it away from the mountain this time. There we go. That's a bit better. Sorry, it's going to go off screen as I finish it. There it is. Alright, now I got to do the trees again. I think the concept of a no man's land between these kingdoms is pretty interesting, instead of their borders being right next to each other. But I'm just a bit of a... I think no man's land. Said it so many times it doesn't feel like it's a real saying anymore. Is a cool concept. I think that's really fun. Oh, this tree's in the way too. There we go. Alright, there's our next border. Hey, Master Splinter, you have map questions? My guy, hit me with them. Ines Ladini, you said, what's my new book called? Let's see. My newest one is Wriggly Little Hands, right here. It's linked in my bio if you want to check it out. And then also, hold on. I just put out this novella. It's a prequel to Wriggly Little Hands. And this is also this one. If you subscribe to my newsletter or my Discord server, you'll get it for free, or it's on Amazon for 99 cents. So your choice. But it's a prequel to Wriggly Little Hands. Give you a little bit of backstory, a little bit of extra info. I'm just a good lawyer over on Video App. You said, what's the map for? So today's map is for practice. I wanted to learn this parchment style. I think it's really cool. My maps in the past have been in this style, a little more colorful and bright, but perhaps a little less book feeling. They don't feel that, old. They're fun, for sure. And this is actually the one we're working on for Wriggly Little Hands. But this one's just for practice. We're just trying to figure out style, You think there's another tree in the way on the border somewhere? I mean, that sounds likely. This guy is... maybe. No, he's alright. This one, maybe? Come on now. Let me click him. I kind of like that one being in the way a little bit. It's just a little bit in the way. Barker Moo, we make the maps on Incarnate. It is an online map maker. Alright, let's go ahead and highlight this region down here now. This one was done with an orange color, and we were using 11 brush size with a full opacity. So let's paint in some more borders. I'll have to move the trees. I already see it's painting the trees. That's alright. We'll fix. Huh. Actually, you know what? That's an interesting consideration. If it's gonna come along. Let me get my brush a bit bigger so you can see it. It's gonna go along this water here and down. but then I guess to the edge of the map. So I actually shouldn't do this shoreline down here in the color, which is weird. I feel like that's going to look a little weird. Well, let's do this part first. Democracy Officer, he said, how much time do I take with my world building before I write, or do I just figure it out as I go? Kind of in between. I get the core story concept figured out, and then I start writing, and then I let world building develop naturally as the story progresses. Just personally, because, you know, as an author, I write to sell. It is my job. So every time, all the time, the extra time that I spend world building and not writing is kind of, it's not wasted. It's important to world build well, but it's not words on page, and I got to get the next book out, you know? So I do a mix. I do a little bit of world building, then I do the story, and I continue to add to the world building as the story progresses. That's also just what works best for me creatively. All right. Gustav, did you draw the trees and water lines manually? I didn't draw the stamps. Like, you know, if I grab this tree, you know, you can move it around. It's a stamp that I've placed there. But I did place them, and I did decide, you know, where the coastlines are and stuff by, let's see, if we go to my subtract tool, I can just cut water in like this. So I drew all these coastlines in. All right, now we got some trees in here that have been painted the wrong color because they are... Oh, you know what? I'm not going to be able to fix that, actually. Never considered that. The trees are just going to be painted the border color. It's my first time doing borders like this. Milovish, it is Incarnate we are using to make this. Incarnate.com. Y'all, what do we think about the borders down here? The way that this works with the capital, like, theoretically, this border, I don't know if you can see my brush, there we go, should extend, it extends beyond the map, right? But I don't know how to mark that. I guess we just leave it be, right? Just like it just trails off into whatever land is down there. The completeness bothers me. The incompleteness. It does make the nation look larger for sure. Someone asked, am I a trope dodger or a trope enjoyer? I like tropes on a basic level. I don't intentionally write tropes. If they appear, they appear. But I don't really have anything against them. Benjamin, we're using Incarnate to make this. Jack Ann, you said I'd just leave it be, signaling more land. Yeah, fair enough. Alright, so it goes. I worry the orange color doesn't stand out too well as a border. Like when you look at full zoom, it's not stark enough, I suppose, on its differences. But it's fine, I guess. It's fine. Alright, so now we gotta do our purple one. Oh, you know what? And I didn't even do this intentionally, but I wanted this swamp region to be a little bit outside of, you know, the purview of the kingdoms, and I just naturally drew the border along the river here, so we did it. The swamp is its own little entity out there. 1992 Toyota Land Cruiser, my friend, welcome back. How have you been? How have you been, my guy? Been a while. Linux, you said, am I a writer or what? I am an author, my friend. This is my full-time job, just making these books and selling them. So I stream, you know, a little bit beginning of the workday, just to answer questions about writing or to make fantasy maps like the ones I make for my books, etc., etc. So if you got any questions, please ask. And happy to talk about it. All the books are linked in my bio, and that is how I support myself. That's how I make my living. So if any of them look interesting to you, please go check them out. They're on Amazon, audiobook, ebook, etc. For those asking, we make this in Incarnate.com. It is a free online map maker. Thank you for the follows, by the way, y'all. Appreciate that. Sherry, you said, love this, but why is the capital so small and mainly water? Which one? There's 3 capitals. You talking about this one down here, maybe? This is like a Venice bridge style area. Unfortunately, the stamp covers up a little bit of it, but you can see it once you know it's there. But yeah, and I agree. Blueberry, you're spot on. We don't really know the scale of this. It's just, we're just representing places. Ooh, democracy officer. I like that. Can we name that desert village on the west side of the river Siltwater? I like that. You got it. Silt is a good word, isn't it? Siltwater it is, my guy. Thank you for the suggestion. Let's group it together. Boom, done. What percent complete would you say the map is? Oh, we're getting close. This is just a practice map. I only wanted to do it for like 3 streams. We're pretty darn close. I think we're going to finish these political borders. We're going to name a few places, and then we're just going to look at any extra color we want to add to differentiate climates. And then this island up here still we need to do something with. That'll be the last thing. We'll touch up that island. So I'd say we're 85 to 90% complete. Land Cruiser, what'd you say? I saw your... There it is. You said you and your girl have been loving it down here in the land down under. Rock on, buddy. I'm glad to hear that. I know it's a big move, but I'm glad you're having fun down there. Wizard of Discombobulation, my guy. Wow, you sound spot on for what I'm about to say next. You said, what kind of fantasy is this? So this map is just for practice, so we're kind of building the lore as we go. The main map I'm working on is this one, and it goes for one of my most recent book, which I feel like is very on brand for someone named Wizard of Discombobulation. This is the book it's for, and it is a comedy fantasy about goblins on a quest to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon so they can help him beat the forces of good. But they're goblins, so they get distracted. They go on side quests. They start light things on fire just for fun. Shenanigans ensue, we could say that. It's linked in my bio if that sounds interesting to you. Have I read A Song of Ice and Fire, and what do I think of the map? I love the map for it, and I have read all that has been published of A Song of Ice and Fire. I quite enjoy those novels. I would very much like for them to be finished one day, but we can all only hope, right? The map is really good for Westeros, I guess, and Essos, the world in general. We actually looked at that last Wednesday, and the Wednesday before that on a map stream we were doing where we were looking at famous maps and just kind of learning from them. And we talked about it there. So if all my streams, y'all, are recorded and posted on video app that I can't see the name of, but it starts with a Y and ends with a tube. Same username there. And if you ever want to go back and watch something that you might have missed, they're all there. Y'all, I'm going to make sure that when I paint this, I'm going to go underneath this rock arch right here. Because I could just go right over it, but no. We're going to go underneath it. Make it look cool. Think about names for that town, by the way. That's right on that big rock spire. Like, what are we going to call that place? At the very least, Martin better leave notes. Glara, brutal but honest. Someone's got to finish it, right? I trust, honestly, y'all, maybe I'm delusional, but I think he's going to finish it. I think it's just going to be longer than any of us want. I feel like he's doing a lot of side projects and stuff right now, but I think that he's going to come back, and he's going to just be like one day like, oh, by the way, guys, I finished this, and just drop it on us. Maybe I'm foolish and holding out hope, but I don't know. I think there's a chance. Yo, I'm gonna do something a little different here. I'm gonna undo a little bit of this border because I have an idea. I want to make this desert kingdom. I want to make it end before going off the map. I think this ominous dead tree area would be a good place to put a border. Like, maybe it doesn't extend. They stop like right around here. I feel like it's kind of cool to leave a little more blanks, unclaimed land on the map, you know? I don't like how it kind of it implies that these two lines go together. So maybe we change its position a little bit. Yeah, we definitely need to put some. Well, I think it would be cool to put something down by the dead forest area. But also, I kind of like the idea of it being spooky. Maybe you can't live down there for some reason. For those asking, the program is Incarnate. It is incarnate.com. And you can make your own map there now. I am not sponsored by them, believe it or not. Yeah, we can do that, Zergon. I think that's pretty appropriate. I'm going to go with this one right here, man. Let's see, did I spell that right? There we go. Okay, and we'll group it with the village. Boom, there we go. Millie, what's up? Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Also, Ines Ledeni Sever. And, oh god, I'm not reading that name. Princess will say, thank you for the roses. Ledeni, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate y'all. And thank everybody for the follows. Respect. Thank you, guys. Alright, let's figure out... Oh no, I just realized this name is beneath some trees. Hold on, we will fix. Come here, trees. You troublesome trees. I'm just kidding, I love you. You're amazing. I would never speak an ill word about you. You're good, Avon. It's incarnate.com. No worries. Ask away. Also, Bo, welcome in, my guy. And Admiral Pilot, good to see y'all. Good afternoon to you, Admiral. Or morning here, but afternoon where you are. And Bo, will I be using the parchment style for the main map? So we started making the main map not in parchment style. And it's a toss-up, y'all. So feel free to weigh in what you think. Because I think the parchment style looks better for, like, a world in a book, right? I think it's appropriate. But, like, look how cool this, like, swamp region is down here. This Amazon rainforest we were doing. This amount of color, you're not going to get that in the parchment mode. I think that's really beautiful down here. And I can't do that in parchment. But I feel like parchment just fits the fantasy vibe a little bit better. There you go. Yeah, Herc Cyprus is in here. A little bit of an Easter egg. My family is from Cyprus. Yeah, Jackie, that's a good point. The colorful vibe does work for Wriggly Little Hands. It's such a goofy world. I can see that. All right, let's do the border again. Maybe it just goes like right here. I kind of like that. It's just nice and simple, you know? But if we're going to do that, why can't I put this stamp on top of it? These lines, there we go. Boom. All right, so there's our desert kingdom. So now let's finish painting its borders. We'll come back and fill that little gap in that we left. Oh, I don't like that swoop. Come on, Alex, follow the lines. Boom, there we go. And now I'll erase these old lines down here in a moment. Let's get a smaller brush size. Admiral, thank you for answering the question, my man. I appreciate you. No obligation to do so, but I appreciate you. And you know what? I just realized I started this. There we go. It wasn't on the map. All right. So now let's get rid of this old line here. I think this was just a brown color we had going on. Yeah, there we go. We'll just knock this out with a little bit of brown. There we go. What border? There was never any border. That's no man's land down there. All right, let's get a quick save. See what chat's saying. Dor Wayman said, you just stumbled on this from your shorts feed. What software is this? This is Incarnate, as Admiral said. It's a website. Welcome in, Dor. Good to see you, my guy. I hope you're doing well. Herc, it is Incarnate. I'll put it in chat for you here. Millie, I cannot read Russian. Maybe if it were Korean or Greek or Spanish, I could get it, but not Russian. Oh, that's a fun name, Democracy Officer. Under Lithos. Lithos, like regarding like rocks and stuff, right? Lith is a stem, root. I don't know. I don't know words, man. I'm just an author. I don't know grammar. Come on now, that's for the editor to handle. Hey, if it works, Avon. You said you use Asgar for making maps. It's not pretty looking like this, but it has cool features. Whatever works for you, man. Period. You said when I'm making the map, do I use any real geography concept or just wing it? This one we winged it a bit more. But in the past, I do like to be inspired by like real world areas. So like this down here is like basically an abbreviated copy of the Andes Mountains leading into the Amazon River Basin. I'm really fascinated by that part of the world. So that's literally what this is, with the dry desert on one side, the really high mountains that trap moisture in and create this rainforest down here. So yeah, I do like to use real concepts, but then we also, it's kind of fantasy, right? Like this crater, we're saying this was magic in origin. The ocean actually used to end right here, and somebody accidentally got a little too crazy with magic and made a giant explosion, and the ocean flowed into the crater and created this extra little sea here. So we mix it, we mix it up. But that's the map we'll get back to. We're finishing up our practice map here. Can you name the city near the north on the water Port Velvet? Oh, I guess that kind of works with the color, huh? It works with the color, but I'm tempted. Give me a little variation on Velvet. Give me something a little more give a little fantasy spin on it, and I think it could work. All right, what else we got to do here? I think the borders are working pretty well. That orange color's still not that visible, which is a shame to me, but I think it's okay. It's all right. All right, what else did I say we were going to do? We were going to consider putting... Ooh. Xeno, I like that. Sangport, as in sanguine. Yo, let's go, man. Yeah, done. Instantly. Love it. I'm wondering if we can't get more sanguine in there, right? Like, we're using... Let me get it better in frame for y'all. Like, that's the word sanguine, I don't know. It's one of those things that you write and you never say. You can say sanguination. I know that one. Zergon, you said you wanted it to be in the woods, so I put it in the one in the woods. I don't know, man. It's there's no town in the woods, so I put it there for you. I'm trying to think if we got sanguine right here. Can we, and Sangport was the suggestion. Can we make it any more, can we get any more of sanguine into the port name, without making it look weird? I guess Sangport's good for now. If anybody has anybody's got any cool ideas about it, let me know. Ooh, Port Sanguis. Yeah, there you go. Hey, good job. Skinny Jeans rocking it. Just break that group, click on the title. Maybe turn off caps lock. Learn how to type. It's only my job. There we go. Rock on. Thanks for that, guys. Democracy Officer, thank you for sending that message again. If I miss it, y'all, just feel free to send it again. Lithos is the etymology from Latin for stone. I knew it was something like that. Rock on. Thank you for that. All right. Where else? What else we got going on here? Oh, so I know I got distracted from this idea, but y'all, it'd be really cool if I'm thinking this is outside of any country's borders, right down here. We should put like a rogue city down here. Something that's like, we'll do a town, but owes no allegiance anywhere. Kind of an outlaw city. Hen puffs, we are using incarnate to make this. Now, whereabouts do we want to put this? Do we want it in the forest? I almost feel like I kind of want the forest to not have the outlaw city in it, because I think it's a really cool ominous thing. Just have like these dead trees out here. Oh, thank you, Zeno. I'm glad you appreciate it. It's my favorite format to do. It's way fun. And I appreciate the follows, everybody. Thank you for popping in. Millie, I can look that up after stream. I'll make a note of it. In between the hills. Oh, that's a cool idea. Kind of tucked in here, so it's almost got water, you know, or access to water at least. I might draw a little bit of a river in here. I'll have to think about it. But I do like the idea of it being right around in here. Maybe even on the hill. Do we like that? It just blocks the hill if we put it on top of it. I think right in here, between the hills. That seems reasonable. Okay, so that's gonna be a town. Feel free to suggest names for it, y'all. And I'm gonna do this. Watch, we're gonna take this title, and we're gonna invert the curve on it. It's at 23 curve. We're gonna put it at a negative 23, and then we're gonna put it down here. I think that'll be fun. Alright, so the vibe for this place, I'm thinking like Wild West outlaw town. So if you got names in that realm, go for it. Drop them in chat. We'll think about them. Up, Crested, here's the entire map for you. Dora, you said Velvet Brine as our what ended up being Port Sanguis. So that's kind of a good idea. I kind of like that. Driftwood. Ooh, I like that. Strategic Avian. Make the name sound new, like it doesn't have a bunch of history behind it. Oh, dang. Razmataz. Salt Warren. Bro, that's pretty sick. I like Salt Warren. I'm going to put that for now. If we get something better, maybe it dethrones it. But Salt Warren that's pretty cool. And I'm going to do that. My favorite thing where we just let the name interact with the landscape a little bit. Just put a little bit of the A behind that mountain. Alright, we're gonna get a little crazy with this. Bear with me, y'all. I like to do this sometimes. I think this will look cool. What are we thinking about this? Let's get this rotated correctly. Kind of like that. I think that's pretty sick. Whenever I can do something fun like that, you know, we gotta jump on it. Group them together. There we go. Boom. Oh, oops. Hold on. Boom. Sorry. False alarm. Let me fix it. Alright, let's get a quick save. And y'all, just a heads up, if you don't know, I am author Alex Knight. These are my books. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time, always doing something writing or fantasy focused. If I'm live, please feel free to ask questions about writing, publishing, books, fantasy map making, any of that fun stuff. Always happy to talk about it. And I am a full-time author, so if any of these books look interesting to you, please give them a look. They are linked in my bio. And selling them is how I keep in my job. So please check them out if you want. If I had to recommend one, this is the newest one. I'm working on the sequel now. And I also sold the trilogy rights for this one. So 2 more sequels are on the way. Those are the next 2 projects. Thu Basis said author Asmongold. Crazy. Well, one, thank you, my friend. The Asmongold counter is up to 57 now. I really need to get a special effect for that. Jan, the map maker, is incarnate. I can put it in chat for you. I'll put it in both chats. Mary Caitlin, you said this is so fun. I was scrolling, trying to find something to have on while I'm at work, and I'm so glad I stumbled across this. Oh, well, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. And welcome in. Happy Monday to you. Hope you're doing well. We typically do the map making on Fridays, but we had some tech issues last Friday, so I feel like y'all got shortchanged on the map time, so we got to get a little more map time today. That's a good thought, Jack Ann. TikTok Studio does have a soundboard feature now. I could have a ding or a chime or something when the Asmon gold counter goes up. Ooh, that's kind of cool, Sniped Panda. So the town up from Saltwarren should be called the Edge or something similar. Y'all feel free to riff on that. Let me know what you think. I like the idea of like something involving edge, considering it's like right here on the edge of this cliff and spire. So feel free to riff on that. We'll take some suggestions. Edgewater could be some. Now, Dead End says Skinny Jeans. Yeah, Dead End's all right. I like that. Ah, I like that, Raz. You said so Saltwarren is called Saltwarren, right? Maybe there's salt in the soil here, and that's why the trees are dead. Okay, I like that. Treesus, was that supposed to be Mufasa Edge? We getting a Lion King reference in here? The map maker is incarnate.com, for those wondering. Alright, so while we're thinking about that, what if we did a little city-state near the oasis? Oh, okay, so how much political division do we want in here? Because this purple country, whatever it is, the kingdom I think we said, it's got all this territory right here, right? This is its border. I would imagine this oasis town would be quite valuable in the grand scheme of things. Do we want it to be its own little city-state thing that's kind of off on its own? Or do we want it to be part of the bigger kingdom? That's an interesting question. I just realized these hills, they lost their brown color a minute ago. We'll fix that. I moved them. That was the problem. There we go. Oh, thank you, Admiral. I appreciate you answering the question. The Birchbone Forest. Thundermoth. Wow. Okay. Hold on. We're going to put that. That's a good name right there. I was just going to say we haven't named any geography yet. So maybe we need to do that. Let's get rid of this curve. I think maybe the geography names don't have curves to them to differentiate them from cities. Do we like Birchbone as one word or Birchbone as two words? I think I like it as one. Like, kind of slur it together, Birchbone. I think I want to actually differentiate the text even more, too. Not a different font, but... No, not bold either. What could we do to make it a little different? Maybe just a little bit more opaque. Do I have an opacity option for this? I would assume I do. Oh, y'all, I haven't been using drop shadow on any of these names. Oops. Hold on. We're gonna grab some drop shadow real quick. It makes all the names look better. Look here. We'll show you the difference. This is no drop shadow, and then boom, drop shadow. So much better. I was wondering why I wasn't getting a drop shadow option on this. It's because I clicked the hill, not the town. That's the hill again. Come on. There's the town. Give me that drop shadow. John, you're spot on, my guy. It is, in fact, Incarnate. Alright, I think this village still needs... Nope, it's got it. This town needs some drop shadow. Drop shadow for everybody. You get a drop shadow. You get a drop shadow. Normally I have that setting just always turned on, so I must have done something with it at some point. Okay. If y'all see anything without drop shadow, you let me know. Democracy Officer Rue says, alright chat, take a water break, the ADHD is stylizing. A. Gillette, you said when I print a book with the map, do I do it in color or black and white? I do it in black and white, purely because it's a lot more expensive to print in color on the inside of your book, and it wouldn't make sense to do that for just one map. But then I always put the maps on my website. So if you enjoy any of my books, you should definitely check out my website. I always have additional stuff there. I have goodies, extra art from the artist, sometimes playlists that I think go well with them, stuff like that. And, of course, the maps in their full color. Thank you for the follows, by the way, everybody. My sound went away. It used to like ding when when you followed, and now I just stopped working. I can't figure out how to get it back on, so sorry, but I appreciate it. And I see when you do it. Mike, where can you buy my books? So here are my books, first of all, at least the book ones. A lot of them have sequels. They're linked in my bio, but they're all on Amazon, Audible. You can order them online through Barnes & Noble, etc., etc. And they're in a couple bookstores if you're in the Houston area. But yeah, they're all linked in my bio, so feel free to click in on there and check it out. I appreciate it. Can I zoom out and show everything? Sure thing. Let's get that map centered in here. There we go. There's the map as it stands. Tarby, we're using Incarnate to make this. I'll put it in chat for you. YO Key over on Video App. You said, is this a class project? 50% of the points is drop shadow. 50% of your grade will be drop shadow. Darren, you said it would be really cool if Siltwater was a bog/marsh/swamp village, as the river should erode that bank. Yeah, I dig that. That's a cool concept. I like that a lot, actually. I think I have named a swamp town in the past Siltwater in one of my books, but as you can see from this area here and this area here, I'm quite fond of having swamps in my books. Hold on. This area here. Can you tell that I like putting swamps in? Leia, yeah, this is Incarnate. Peters, this map is not for any specific book. I'm just doing this one as practice. This one is for the world of Wriggly Little Hands, which was the book that I showed a moment ago. Let's pull it up again. My newest book. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon so they can help him defeat the forces of good. But they're goblins, so they mess it up. And, spoiler alert, as evil as they try to be, they somehow end up doing good. Because they're just too innocent. It's full of shenanigans, it's very silly. And this map is the world of that book, so we're working on that. Master Splinter, you said, how am I raising the ground level? So this is actually, it's an illusion. There's a stamp that's cliffs, and I've just put that stamp right along the river's edge. And then I made the stamps in here, like the to mountains and every stamp in here, just a little bit bigger, a couple percentage points bigger, so that it appears that it's closer to the viewer, you know, and it makes it look like it's higher up when really it's just a little bit bigger. YO Key, you said the rest of the 50% is swamp. Yeah, 50% of your class project is drop shadow, and the other 50% is swamp. I have very biased grading here. Can I add a big worm-looking water animal? Let's see what we can do. I've seen a lot of requests for animals. Let's see what we can get in here. I know that they do have stamps for like sea serpents and stuff. Oh, here we go. Animal illustrations. Let me see if I can show this to y'all a bit better. Here we go. I'll move that. We got a scorpion, a big spider. ox, snake. I don't know. It's like a saber-toothed, woolly mammoth. It's got a dinosaur. Coyote, unicorn, hydra. Those pretty good options. This is just the parchment pack. There's more in like Fantasy World. They just won't match the art style too well. So like, let's see. Yeah, see, here's the animals for the Fantasy World, but you see how they're like a different style? They won't go in the parchment pack very well. Yeah, you can totally import your own stamps. Which is a pretty nice thing that Incarnate lets you do. Let's get back to our normal view. There we go. Have I ever considered creating custom stamps for Kingdom emblems? I haven't. But I typically mess with art stuff. I goof around with stuff like that. Like one of my books has gaming guilds in it, and I made logos for each of them for fun. So that was fun. Get off my lawn, guy. You said you missed all the towns. What's the scale of this scale of the distance? Is it walking distance, or do you need to have a horse to get between them? I would imagine, you know, and this is I'm kind of making it up as we go, but I'm thinking like here, Port Sanguis up here, down to the border. I'd say if you were walking, I'm gonna call that 5 to 6 days walking. I don't know how much faster that would be on a horse. I do have a key to reference about medieval travel times, so we could pull that up if we wanted to. Oh, thank you. We got there. That tangent got me there. I want to add roads, guys. We got to put roads in here. What are we doing? The roads are so important. Yeah, okay, that's the next thing. We got to do roads. But Oscar, you said, what's my book about? Well, thank you for asking. This is the newest one. Wriggly Little Hands. It is a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord by getting his doomsday weapon for him. And, well, they're goblins. They're going to get distracted, go on side quests, accidentally ruin everything. So if you like Terry Pratchett, you like comedy fantasy, this is very in that vein. But, of course, I've written a lot of books. So they're all linked in my bio. Please go check them out if you want. I would appreciate it. Alexander Weiss, you said, what do you use to draw the map? We use Incarnate, my friend, as an online map maker. Feel free to check it out. It's got a free tier. It's pretty powerful. YO Key over on Video App, you said, it'll take you longer if you walk with the horse on your back. Well, you know, YO, the goblins agree with you, and that's why once they got their rocket wagon, they put horse in the back of it. Horse doesn't have to walk anymore. Goblin, I don't have a travel key for this. Oh, you're saying the travel key that I mentioned? Yeah. We can. Hold on, we can pull that up. Let's see if we can find it. Was it probably writing resources? I've got it saved in here somewhere. Here, I'll do this for a moment while I try to find it. It's somewhere in my resources. Let's see. Oh, you know what? It might be in bookmarks. Hold on. I think this is where it's going to be. Yeah, you know, or not. I know that I have this. I've referenced it many times in the past. Yeah, sorry, I can't find it right now, but it basically was showing how roads and horses impact travel times, and it was centered on Rome, and it was showing outlines expanding outward about how far you could get, each outline being a day. It was really cool. If you type in like Roman walking distance map or something like that, it'll probably come up. Leia, yeah, I just use Incarnate through Google. It's just a website. Road, you would want to know the distance between the frequency of use for some realism or not. Says, get off my lawn, guy. Yeah, totally. We'll consider that as we put these roads in here in a moment. Joshua Millard, you said I look like the bald survivor in No, I'm Not Human. I'm not aware of that series, but hope it's an attractive, dashing character. Is that the case? Wyoki, you're a fan of the rocket wagon? The goblins are too. Very good for causing chaos. Wyo, I'm also streaming on TikTok. That's my my primary platform. Same username. Marked VFX, she said, buddy, this is Monday. You better explain. Yeah, we had the tech issues on Fantasy Map Friday. And I felt like y'all got shortchanged on our map time. I can't shortchange you on the map time. So we had to come in today and do a little more mapping. All right, y'all, let's get these roads. We've been talking about them for a hot minute. So we're going to go to our... I'm just going to sketch them initially with a dashed or a dotted line. And I don't know, something really noticeable like purple or pink. And then we're going to paint over them. So let's figure out some roads, guys. I think I'm going to start right here. And I feel like it's just, you're definitely going to have a road. A road down this. I feel like, you're going to have one along the coast, which I don't like the shape of that. I think, like that. And down it goes to the village. And then I think you're also going to have another one this way. John Travis, you said the algorithm finally suggested a good live stream. You love the map. Hey, man, thank you. Welcome in. Glad to have you. If you enjoy the map making, because you're over on Video App, which I can't say because TikTok gets mad at me, but it starts with a Y and ends with a tube. If you're watching over there, check out my profile. I got a whole playlist of all the past Fantasy Map. Typically, it's Fantasy Map Friday. Today, it's Fantasy Map Monday because we had some issues on Friday. Hey, Goblin, you said if a courier has relay stations, they can cover over 100 miles. That is a concept you'll see in my book Servant of Rage, inspired by the YAM system from Mongolia, where they had relay stations set up so that messages, goods, etc. could be delivered very quickly across vast distances. That is absolutely a plot point, because I think it is fascinating. Alright, this is just my rough road. I'm not loving the shape of it, but I'm not worried too much about it because we're going to paint around it in a moment. We're going to actually put in a real, road. So these dots, we're just kind of sketching. We're just getting ideas at the moment. I do love what y'all are saying about the roads through the mountains, especially because, look, I didn't put the title over it, but there was... I think, y'all, and this is being generous of me, I wanted to have a town in these mountains. I don't know if, it's realistic to actually do that. I don't know if they could, this is a fantasy map, so we're going to assume it's, a historical time period. I don't know if they could actually support a town up in these mountains, but you know what? It's cool, so we're going to do it. Rule of cool wins out on this one. Do we get the drop shadow on it? Yes, the drop shadow is active. Full points on this project. Alright, so I think the road should probably split at this village. And go up into this mountain town. There we go. Now, the village left by the water, maybe Fjallhaven? Which one are you talking about there, Luke? He's saying, village left by the water. He's saying this guy right here. Oh, he said it's a village, though. Oh, this one right here? Town in the mountain called Mountain Town, says Wyoki. Mountain Townton. Travis, we're using Incarnate to make this. It's an online map maker. Feel free to check it out. Yeah, it's a good point, Zeno. There are rivers that originate right around this town, so they're going to have pretty good resources up there. You can see that. All right. I just realized, y'all, I feel like there needs to be a vein of travel between this side of the map and this side of the map. And I feel like that would happen right here, like a little ferry crossing or something. I don't think I don't think they're at a technology level to build a bridge big enough to span this. Um, but I think like a ferry crossing of some sort would be cool. But how do we show that? How do we signify that like this would be the area that people use to get across the river? I don't know. Clara, thank you for the pumpkin, by the way. I appreciate your Halloween, your time of year themed gifts. Very fun. You could always color the route a dark blue color to differentiate between land route and water route. Okay, there's an idea, Skinny Jean. Could put docks on the other side of the river. We could totally do docks. I think they're just going to look a bit weird in the scale. Well, actually, Parchment World doesn't have... Hold on. Yeah, it's got to have a dock, right? It doesn't. It doesn't have a stamp for it. The reason being that it doesn't... the Parchment map is meant to be a higher zoom level. Like, it's a bigger zoomed out view, so you're not going to be able to see things like a dock in there or specific city streets, you know? Vic, we're making this in inkcarnate.com. It's a free online map maker. John Travis, you said, as for a connector between land masses, maybe consider an old footbridge and a wider bridge. It's more recent construction. It's a cool concept. I love that. I think that this bridge is, or this river is too big for their technology level to span, and probably too strong, because we're going for like a Nile vibe here. I'm thinking this river might flood and be pretty rough, be pretty intense. I like, where was that? Marcus, you said put a boat. That's not a bad idea. I think that's exactly what we should do, is just grab a boat stamp and just have, you know, like that. I'm not sure that's exactly the stamp. Oh, wait, hold on. This one's pretty cool. I almost feel like that's a more appropriate one. We're not going to have 3 masted sailing vessels to cross the river. It's a little bit out of the style of the map, you know? Like, we're not using stamps too much on here, but maybe we could be. I don't know. Oh, here we go. We got a bunch more. Oh, we got... Alright, hold on. We got to think which one we want here. We got a whole bunch of options. Look at all the boats we could put. That's pretty fun. And in fact, look at these two. We even have different directions on them. So you could put one, you know, here, and another one here, and it kind of implies that, like, they travel between. Yeah, I like the idea of, like, showing it's a ferry crossing by having multiple boats going through. I almost kind of want to leave this guy, like, here. You know, like, it's, you know, it's kind of chilling on the shore, right? And then what I want is you... Can I flip this to make it go the opposite direction? Not really. What about this one? Oh, it's already just flipped. Okay. So, I don't think I can make him, like, exactly go in the opposite direction, but I could definitely do, like, there and there or something. Let's see if we can grab another boat stamp that's maybe going in an opposite direction. I guess the canoe could work. I almost want to put now a little settlement right here to bridge this, you know, this gap. YOK, you said put a mini rocket boat. Man, you get the vibe of Wriggly Little Hands. That's very on brand. This map's not for that, but your your sense of humor's spot on, my guy. Y'all, we use Inkcarnate to make this. It is an online map making program. A lot of fun. All right, I think kind of like that. I think that's good for the ferry crossing. And you know what? Okay, hold on. We can do something else too. I just realized this is the symbol for village, not for town. Oops. There you go. There's our town stamp. This tree is in the way. Sorry, tree. It had to be done. Alright, there's our mountain town here. Nope, nope. Move the text, not the mountain, please. There we go. I just had an idea what we can do here to signify this is a crossing. We're going to put, you know, almost a twin settlement, but I'm going to give it a name right here that implies, that has crossing in the name. So it implies, like, that it is a, you know, a ferry crossing or something. So, y'all, I need names. Suggest names that are involve crossing in it. So, you know, something crossing, or someone's crossing, or something ford, anything like that. I feel like that would be a great way to do it. Crosswater, dang, Marlin in the lead right out the bat with Crosswater. That's pretty sick. I like that a lot, actually. And the boats. Siltwater Crossing does make sense. It does make sense. I still like the flair of Crosswater, though. Crosswater feels sick, man. YOK, man, you get excited every time we go to Mountain Town. Mountain Townton. We gotta be careful. It's gonna end up being the official name. Bedrock Crossing. That's kind of cool, too, with the whole stone vibes. I think we might need to go with stone vibes out in this desert area for all the names. Siltwater and Siltwater Crossing do work pretty well. It's true. They go together well. Crisscrossing. Love it. Valid is incarnate.com we're using to make this. Alright. I do like Siltwater and Siltwater Crossing. Get off my lawn, guy. You said Crosswater is a little seedy. Don't want to hang out there too long. Could feel that. Kind of like a medieval truck stop, huh? I'm debating between Crosswater and Siltwater Crossing. Or Stone Cross. I saw someone said Stone Cross. That was a cool one, too. I want it to be very literal, though, so that even at like this at high-level zoom, you kind of know, you get that this is a ferry crossing here. I think Siltwater Crossing. If we're going for very literal, I'm gonna go for Siltwater Crossing. Maybe, I don't know. I can't decide. I'm not sure, y'all. I'm not sure. Oh, wow. Zeno, I like that. Feldscarp for the southern town on the cliff / outcrop. Feldspar plus Scarp. Dude, that sounds sick. You got the stone words, man. You're out there Googling Latin and geography names for rocks. Crosswater Crossing. Mary, I do like Stone's Cross. That's also good. What about Silk Cross? To make it a little bit shorter. Silk Cross, something like that. Stepping Stones, that's pretty good too, man. Y'all got the good names. Yeah, that's a good point, Travis, on Video App. You said if it's a bigger name, it'll draw more attention to it. I do like Silk Cross, or Silk Cross. I'm gonna go with that for now, but let's think on it, y'all. Let's get it above these trees who are in the way. I love you, trees, I do, but I want to read my names. Oh. Alright, we'll move that boat for a moment. I might actually need to change the curve on this, or tilt it. There we go, so that it plays nicely with those mountains. And I need to put... Where's this little border? Because it's, you can see it's getting messed up by the border beneath it. Grab that. That puts it... That works. Oh, the bridge is also above it. There we go. Silt Cross is decently readable. Let's move our boat back home. There we go. Okay, I think that works as like a crossing. That kind of, I think that implies pretty well. Though when I zoom out, it does look like it's not saying silt, but something else. Hey, Thug Nugget, welcome back, my guy. Good to see you. Hey, Glara, and you're over on the video app now. All right, rock on. Good to see you there. Y'all, while we save the map, I'll just go ahead and do a little bit of promo. If you don't know me, I'm author Alex Knight. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time, and we're always doing something fantasy, writing, book focus, something like that. Today we're doing a little bit of map making up for Friday, where we had a couple tech issues. Traditionally, Fantasy Map Friday is when we do it, but we got a little Fantasy Map Monday today. And if you don't know, I'm a full-time author. There's the screen. I'm a full-time author. These are my books. If any of them look interesting to you, please give them a look. They're linked in my bio. They're on Amazon. They're on Audible. They're in bookstores. Check them out. That's how I support myself. And when I wrap up stream here in about 15-ish minutes, I will be going on to work on the sequel to my newest book, Wriggly Little Hands. And when that's done in about 2 months, I'll be writing the sequels to Servant of Rage, because we sold the trilogy rights on that one. So I owe y'all 2 more books there. So please give them a look if you want. If you got questions, ask away. I appreciate it. Hornet, can I make a little town in the mountains for you? We have this one up in here right now, but we could do a couple villages up there. Because one of the problems with this map, and we were supposed to be working on roads and we got distracted. One of the problems is there's not enough villages. There's a lot of towns. There's not a lot of villages going on. So we need to work on that. Map Monday has better alliteration and is a great entry to the week, says Democracy Officer Wu. Oh man, don't tempt me. It would be too easy to turn every stream into a fantasy map making stream. Oh, I appreciate you, Wyo. That's nice of you to say. Yeah, it's hey, if you got ideas, just pick the one you like the most and start writing on it, you know? It's the best way to get into it. Vimla, what time is it where I am? It is 8:31 a.m. Here. I am in Central Time Zone, U.S. Regan, this is Incarnate. This is an online map maker. All right, we were supposed to be doing roads, y'all, and there was something else, but I forgot what it was. That's never happened before on stream. All right, let's go ahead and I think I got to wrap up here pretty soon. So I want to, before we finish it, I want to take these dotted lines, which were our stand-in roads, and I want to turn them into an actual road. So let's do that. Harrison, is this a Tolkien knockoff? Well, I mean, what fantasy isn't a Tolkien knockoff, really? Kind of the father of fantasy as we know it. But no, not really. This map's just for practice. But I'll tell you what, if you want a book that does spoof Tolkien, Wriggly Little Hands definitely has those vibes in the beginning. It's linked in my bio if you want to check it out. Colum James, you said, is this map hobby creation or directly involved with the book? Well, so Colum, this one is actually for practice. I'm just trying to get better in this parchment style. I've never worked with it before. But this one is going to be for Wriggly Little Hands. And in fact, this is where the book begins, this little region here, but it quickly moves beyond it. So I wanted to do a world map. So that's the other thing we're working on. But this map's all original, just for the sake of learning and getting a bit better. Xenotundra, you are correct, my guy. You said Tolkien was derivative of Norse mythology and Beowulf, so it's all copying into new things. I mean, that's the secret, y'all. Every story in the world's already been told, but it hasn't been told by you. The voice that you bring to a story, the way you see the world, the way you describe things, that's what makes a story unique. And that's the secret to writing. Everything's already been written. Evdegi, you said I have a good radio voice when I did my promo segment. Thank you. Alright, so guys, I like to do actual roads. So like if do I have a map that I have roads on? One of these I did roads. Maybe not. I think I deleted them. Or is there? No, there's reminders. Here we go. Okay, so you see this little right in here. This was a road. That's how I like to do my roads. I like to have them look like a trodden dirt path. And so if I do that here, though, I'm worried that it's going to mess with the border color that we did. You know, like, I feel like that's, if we were to do a road kind of like that, I feel like it kind of messes with it, right? So I think, what do we think about instead? We'll make these dotted lines better, make them nicer looking, but let's go to the color options. And what if we just turn their opacity down so that they're not as visible? You can still see them. Maybe that was a little too low. You can still see them, but they're not so, they don't stand out so much on the map. I think that's probably the way to do it. Couple questions here. Let's see. James, you said, column James, you said, question, how intuitive is Incarnate Pro? Free Incarnate seems limited, but with the mountains. Incarnate Pro is basically just more features on basic Incarnate, more stamps, more map types, bigger resolution. It's every bit as intuitive as the free version is. And MV over on Video App, you said, ever thought about making short stories or putting together unused material for an anthology? Hey, absolutely, my guy. I have done that in the past. I have an anthology that I unpublished because I need to do some editing on it, but it'll come back at some point in time. But this, as I've been saying, is my newest book. But technically, my newest release is right here. And this is a prequel. Basically, it's a novelette. It's between the length of a short story and a novella. 17,000 words. It's 76 paperback pages. This is a prequel story to Wriggly Little Hands. And if you join my newsletter or my Discord server, you get it for free. Or it's 99 cents on Amazon. So if you want to get a taste test of Wriggly Little Hands and my writing style, well, here it is. Feel free to check it out. But yes, MV, I am a big fan of writing short stories. I think that they are honestly where you should begin. Instead of jumping into novels right off the bat, I think it should absolutely begin with short stories. Get off my lawn, guy. The Discord is linked in my bio, but here, I will drop Discord link in chat as well. I dropped it in both chats. TikTok might censor it. If my message doesn't show up, that's what happened. How long is a short story? A short story is really like 0 to 15. I mean, I suppose it has to have one word. 1 to 15,000 words thereabout. I mean, they're loose limits. You know, they can fluctuate, but it's around there. Thug Nugget, you said The Far Wild has cool cover art. What is it about? I would order it if it's available in Europe. It is available on Amazon Europe, Thug. And The Far Wild is basically fantasy Jurassic Park. But here, I will read you the official description because I worked really hard to write official descriptions for them all that are really short. So here's The Far Wild. When a skyship goes missing and the you know what? Hold on. We should be doing this with the cover up there. Like that. Okay. When a skyship goes missing in the primordial jungle, it's up to an egotistical adventurer and a meek academic to lead the rescue, prevent war between empires, and try not to get everyone eaten. That it's basically like fantasy Jurassic Park. I absolutely love Jurassic Park as a book and a movie, and this was my version of it. Thank you for asking about it. I'm going to stretch out the gap length on these dots a little bit for the road, and we're going to redraw the road anyway. So, Xeno, what a great description. Dinos and dirigibles. Technically, the skyships aren't dirigibles in that world, but you know what? It sounds too cool. I haven't seen She-Ra, Column James, but I've heard really good things. The main character is very in that vein of like egotistical but good-hearted. rapscallion adventurer sort of deal. I mean, if you can tell from the vibe. So I imagine that sounds pretty spot on for what you're saying. All right, let's get this road in here. I've been talking about roads for like an hour and not actually doing them. We think this road follows the coast, or does it go a bit more inland? I feel like when I do it on the coast, it doesn't look right. Also, that gap distance is the gap between dots is the gap length is too big. Let's do it like that, and I feel like it should be a little less curvy. So it comes out of the capital, and I think goes a little bit inland, and then swings to the coast, and then to the village. I like that. That looks all right. All right, and now we're gonna get rid of this guy, and this guy, and we're gonna do a new one in our correct dash length. Oh, you know what? Can I edit individual dots on this? Like, I probably can. That's going to be a tricky one. I'm sure it's possible. Like, individual nodes. I feel like I've seen a way to do that. Anyway, my issue with it is I think it would be sick if it... So, okay, here, let's explain the logic. I was going to start the next road right here. But I think it would be cooler if instead you had one that clearly comes out of this way and one that comes out of this way. So it looks like they originate at different points. Oh, Zeno, the shore is not red because of any climate or anything. We're using it to mark the boundaries of countries. So you got the red here, you got the purple here, and the very hard to see orange down there, which is a little bit of a poor color choice on my part. Alright, so we're gonna do like this. This is one entrance. Goes along here, then it dips down to the coast and into the village. And then for the other road, I want it to come out this way. It'd be kind of cool if it went between the trees. I'm not sure I drew that particularly well. Yeah, it doesn't look like a path enough. It's too scattered. Yeah, Zeno, I'm using the color around the capitals to show basically the size of the city. It's supposed to be kind of like the borders of it. There we go. I like that road a bit better. Let's continue this way. I've not played Dragon's Dogma, Raz. Yo, you said the MC for the Far Wild has a Gaston vibe. Full on, my guy. You understand it. You understood the assignment. You get the vibe. That's exactly the vibe I'm going for with him. I didn't curve like I wanted it to. Let's do it like this, and then like that. I like this crossroad kind of idea here, but the actual text town is messing with it, and that it's blocking it, and then you can't really tell that it splits off. That's probably good like that. Though I'm not sure why. I guess you would do that. The town would probably just have a direct route toward the bridge, because these roads would be happening because of foot traffic. Like they're going to follow the route that people are using. I just thought it would be cool to kind of have it like a split like this. I guess we could show it better if we just put the title down here and then inverted its curve. Like that. And we got to name it, obviously. There we go. Yeah, there would be a triangle there. That's pretty accurate. I don't want to overdo the roads because it can look too pedantic if you do too many roads. Also, why is my dash length different between these and these? This is a 2.5 gap length, and this one is a 4.2. Let's make them all 2.5. I mean, that's probably a bit too close. I think I had chosen the 4.2, but let's at least get a look at it, and then we'll make a decision. Okay. I think those roads look alright, right? Game trails, Razmataz, I think is what you're going for. A town should be called Tadoka Town. Why? Why is that, Wyoki? Oh, and I wanted to make the road dots a different color than the borders so that they clearly stand out from that. So let's highlight them all. Lose the highlight. You. And I think it's just opacity. I just want to turn the opacity down. So it's kind of like that, right? You can see them, but they're not distracting. They're an additional layer of detail. You know, you need to know they're there. When you look at the map, you're not going to need to immediately see them. You're going to look at them later. So they're a lower level of importance, essentially. John Travis, you got to run? No worries, my guy. Thank you for tuning in. It was a pleasure having you. Hope you have a good Monday, a good start to your week, and hope to see you on the next one, my guy. Have a good one. Zeno, thank you for giving the answer, Incarnate. I appreciate that. You like the opacity down, Jack Ann? Good, I do too. It's a little bit hard to see at this level, but I think that's, pretty correct. What did I do for my birthday? Not too much. I think we just went to Olive Garden for dinner, which, never go there, but sometimes you just need unlimited breadsticks, soup, and pasta. Kind of all we did so far. We were busy. We'll do something in there. We're kind of taking a winter trip to Baltimore for fun later in the year, so I think I'll get some of my birthday fun in for that. You can do a lot of ice skating. Cyprus is not on this map because we're doing practice on this one, but it's still on the main map, which we're going to return to pretty soon because we're almost done with this current one. There you go. It lives. All right, let's get a couple more roads in here, and then I got to call it for today. I gotta get to my writing, but honestly, I like how these roads came out up here with the dotted lines. A little bit hard to see, but that's kind of the point. Abdurrahman. There we go. I don't make RPGs. I'm actually an author. So I make fantasy worlds, just not video game ones, but book ones. They're all linked in my bio. If you're interested, please give it a look. That's my full-time job. We just make maps for fun, for world building, and for the books themselves. Thank you for the follows, everybody. I appreciate that, by the way. Ben, you said a good way is spilling rice or peanuts on paper and drawing around them. Yeah, I've seen that. Coffee grounds is another one people will do. It's a cool way to just get your randomness, All right, let's do. I want to do one. I feel like I want to do one last thing before this map's done for the day. But what? Ben, you've used it for D&D and it works well. Rock on. Ha, Misfit Mikey, welcome in, buddy. It is not Friday. We're going with Fantasy Map Monday because we had tech issues on Friday, and I feel like y'all didn't get a very good stream, so I wasn't going to short you on your fantasy map. We had to get a little extra in here today. Just kind of want to strengthen this purple color a little bit. It's a little bit hard to see when it's with the cliffs. There we go. That's a bit better. All right. That's pretty good, Democracy Officer. You said, pro tip, if you make D&D maps, use the backside of wrapping paper that has a grid pattern. It's cheaper than any other grid paper. Man, that's pretty clever. I can see that. I totally know what you mean with the grid pattern on the wrapping paper. Pretty smart, man. Mary Caitlin, you said, I've seen a guy use different D&D dice to make maps. The colors and types mean different things. Okay, so he like rolls dice for it. Okay, I can see that. To affect where things go and what climates are. Basically like a random number generator, but for maps. That's fun. Wyo, you said, give it that north arrow you see on old school maps. Well, up on the key. Could do that. Key's a little bit crowded as it is. I'm trying to figure out a way to show that information succinctly. Jack Ann, the map's looking awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here for it. All right. Maybe, bear with me, maybe we can highlight this crossing with a little, well, just a little dotted line like this. That's super minimal. I don't think anyone's going to actually notice that. But if we put the boat on it, that's kind of cool, right? Kind of like shows the path the boat's traveling. Because it is a bit of a ferry crossing. I dig that. Damien, welcome in, my friend. We're using Incarnate to make this. I'll put it in chat for you. I apologize. You're joining right at the end here. I think we're just about to call it for the day. Been going for an hour 50 minutes, so I gotta get to work today, folks. But I appreciate you joining me. ELC, you said I should make maps for other books. I do such a good job. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. I do make them for my books. This is one we're working on for one of my books in the background. But we just took a little side quest to learn the parchment map style. I think we'll finish this on Friday, and then we can jump back to our big one. But y'all, thank you. By the way, I appreciate you being here today. I hope you had fun. I certainly enjoyed it. Always a good day when we're making maps. So thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. If you don't know, I'm author Alex Knight. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Central. And we're always doing something fantasy, writing, publishing, book focused, something like that. On Wednesday, what we're going to do, if you want to tune back in, come equipped with your favorite book. Tell me its title, and we're going to pull it up, and I'm going to read the opening lines, and then from an author's point of view, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to talk about what the author is doing in the first few lines, why it's good, how it catches your attention, kind of a bit of a how the sausage gets made moment for that. So that'll be Wednesday, and then Friday, we'll return to fantasy map making, and we're going to finish up this map. I think, oh boy, we put a few more roads on here, name everything, and I think this bad boy's ready to go. So thank you for joining me on it. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate the follows. And y'all, like I said, if any of my books look interesting to you, please do give them a look. Check them out. They're on Amazon. They're audiobooks on Audible. They're paperbacks on Amazon, or you can order them through barnesandnobles.com. And several bookstores around Houston, you can get them on shelves. So if any of those look interesting, please give them a look. Otherwise, y'all, as always, a special thanks to Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com for the use of his songs Farm, Manor, Cottages, and Northern Glade, which have provided our background music today. As well, an extra special thank you to community member Raffi the Engineer. You might have seen Raffi in chat today. Raffi produced, just for stream, our 5th background song, Midnight at the Round Table. Appreciate you, Raffi. Thank you, man. Of course, a shout out to my excellent moderators, Melissa Lee 28, Raffi the Engineer, One Happy Harpy, Simp1X, other name wasn't available, aka Slendy, Lisa T, and Aaron Winnick. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for keeping chat chill, but chat, you guys keep it chill on your own, so I appreciate you. We got good vibes around here. Thank you for maintaining that atmosphere. Folks, if you want to see me on the next one, please give me a follow so I can catch you for the next stream, which will be Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central Time. And, yeah, thanks for being here. Hope you have a great day. Let's start this week off right. I'll be back Wednesday at 7 a.m. And until then, folks, be excellent to each other. Peace out. Thanks for joining me.